Hello everyone, in today's video we are going to cover two-way tables. Our learning targets for today are I can read a two-way table and I can make a two-way table. Looking at what two-way tables are, so two-way table is used to display and observe relationships between two sets of categorical data, or data that I can group based off of similarities. So some examples of categorical data could be foods, animals, restaurants, or colors. Two-way tables show us the frequency or the number of times that something occurs. So we can see whether or not something occurs more or less than other things. Looking at problem 1, Lexi conducted a survey and asked participants whether they were male or female and if they preferred summer or winter. Observe the results in the two-way table below. Add each row or column to complete the totals, then use the table to answer each question. So our first question is how many males were surveyed. Now the way that I would read this table is I will read it by the rows and the columns. So I can see the male box is this box. The males in this survey would be all the values that are in the male row. So 23 and 27 would give me the total amount of males surveyed. 23 plus 27 is 50, so the total amount of males surveyed is 50. Now I want to know how many females were surveyed. I do this the same way. Female would be in this row of 35 and 15. 35 and 15 is again 50, so there's 50 total females surveyed. Now I want to know how many total people were surveyed, so I'd read the total column going down. 50 and 50 would make 100, so I know 100 total people were surveyed. How many people said they prefer summer? So I'd read the summer column, which is 23 and 35. 23 and 35 is a total of 58 people, so 58 people preferred summer. How many people said they prefer winter? Again, I'd read the winter column, which is 27 and 15. 27 and 15 is 42, so 42 people preferred winter. Now, we found out earlier that 100 total people were surveyed, but now I have the row values of my total box, so I can add these together as well, and 58 and 42 gives me 100. This is a good way to check to make sure that I added the column total box correctly, just to make sure that I didn't mess up my addition anywhere in my table. So these two values should be the same, and they are, therefore I'm good. Now looking at how many females said they prefer winter, so this is getting more specific. I would want the female row that correlates with the winter column, which is this box right here, which is 15 total females. Now, how many males said they prefer summer? Again, I'd look at the male row and summer column, which is 23. Looking at problem 2, Martin surveyed several students and asked if they had siblings and if they lived in a 1- or 2-story home. Use the survey results below to complete the two-way table. So I can see in my survey results, I have a siblings column and a 1- or 2-story column. So if it's Y1, that would be siblings in 1 story, which would be this box. If it's Y2, that's siblings in 2-story, which is this box. If it's no 1, that's this box here, and if it's no 2, that's this box here. Now we can count all of these and then determine what values would go into my table. So I'll start with the siblings in 1 story, so I'll count all the Y1s, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 4. Now I'll count all the Y2s, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll count all the no siblings 1 story, so all the N1s, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'll count all the no siblings 2 stories, that's 1, 2, 3. So I have 3 total. Now I can create my totals. So let's create the total amount of people surveyed that had siblings, which would be 4 and 7, which is 11. Total amount that had no siblings, 4 and 3 is 7. Total amount that had 1 story, which was 8, and then the total amount that had 2 stories, which is 10, which gives me a total of 18 people surveyed. Now I can go back through my data and check just to make sure that I have 18 surveyed results. So if I count this again, I have 18 total people surveyed, therefore I didn't miss any data points. Now it asks how many people surveyed live in a 2-story home. So the amount of people in a 2-story home would be this box here, which is 10. Of the people with siblings, how many answered that they live in a two-story home? So this is getting more specific. This is just looking at the siblings, how many people lived in a two-story home, which is this box here, which is 7. And then how many people surveyed did not have siblings. So this is of all my data, how many people did not have siblings. Did not have siblings would be this box here, which is 7. Now looking at problems 4 and 5, we want to use what we've learned about two-way tables to fill in each blank space. So notice in problem 4, I have some information, but then I'm missing others. So I can use addition or subtraction to find the missing pieces. So let's look first at right-handed people who prefer waffles. I know the total amount of right-handed people who prefer both pancakes and waffles is 50, and the right-handed people who prefer pancakes is 23. 50 minus 23 would give me 27. So 27 right-handed people prefer waffles. Now I can use the 27 right-handed people who prefer waffles and then the 15 left-handed people who prefer waffles to give me the total amount of people who prefer waffles, which is 42, because 27 plus 15 is 42. Now using both totals for pancakes and waffles, I can find the total amount surveyed. 58 and 42 make 100. Using this 100 people surveyed, I could subtract the right-handed people to get me the left-handed people. So 100 minus 50 would be 50. Now using this 50 left-handed people, I know 15 left-handed people prefer waffles. 50 minus 15 would tell me 35 left-handed people prefer pancakes. So this is my table for number 4. Okay, in number 5, we have types of hair color and whether or not those people prefer the beach or the mountains. In my first row, I have blonde hair color. I have 90 totaled surveyed, 36 prefer the beach. 90 minus 36 would give me a total of 54 who prefer the mountains. My next hair color is brunette. I have 58 prefer the beach, 42 prefer the mountains, so the total amount surveyed would be 100. Then I have red hair color, 27 prefer the beach, 43 prefer the mountains, 27 and 43 would make 70. Then I have black hair color. I have 100 total, 59 prefer the mountains. I would need to subtract to find the amount who prefer the beach. 100 minus 59 is 41. Now I can find the total people who prefer the beach and the total people who prefer the mountains. 36 plus 58 plus 27 plus 41 would give me 162 people who prefer the beach. 54 plus 42 plus 43 plus 59 would give me 198 people who prefer the mountains. Now I can find my total amount of people surveyed. I can do this by adding 162 and 198, or 90 plus 100 plus 70 plus 100. Both of these will add to 360. Now looking at question 6, use the table to answer A through C. How many more left-handed people said they liked pancakes than waffles? So here I'm going to look at the left-handed row. There's 35 people who prefer pancakes, 15 people who prefer waffles. 35 minus 15 is 20. Now, how many more brunette people said that they prefer the beach to the mountains? So I'm looking at the brunette row. 58 preferred the beach. 42 preferred the mountains. 58 minus 42 is 16. And my last question, how many more right-handed people said they prefer waffles than left-handed people? So here I'm going to look at the waffles column. Right-handed people was 27. Left-handed people was 15. 27 minus 15 would give me 12. In today's lesson, we learned two-way tables display categorical data and the frequency or number of times something occurs. We can use this information to answer specific questions about the data. That's a wrap on today's video. We'll see you in the next one.